What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Season Gaming Bitcast, Saturday at noon's best two-person podcast.
At noon, but not 12:15.
Yeah, exactly.
Something else probably happens.
Yeah, if anyone wants to challenge that, you're welcome to.
Yep.
But anyway, coming to you this week, episode 120 officially. You've got, we're obviously paying a little tribute today, which we'll get to in a second. But you've got myself and Dan today. We've got a packed show, a lot to talk about, a lot of topics. So I think it's going to be a real good one. We've got a lot to talk about. We think we're going to include chat a lot. So get in there and get chatting, and we'll get the conversation going. Love the blue on the Season Gaming shirt, man. I think that is the best color for that shirt.
It is, man. These logos,
Fire. Don't tell Diego. I tell him they suck, but
yeah. It's true. We should keep him. He's like, you need to do better.
And speaking of Diego, who's in the chat, if you haven't seen his new intro for Iron Lords, fire as well.
Dude. Awesome.
Quite literally.
Yep.
So, by the way, here's this new Cyberpunk Maelstrom shirt, which official Cyberpunk shirt. So if you weren't aware, I was streaming on Thursday night. My birthday's next week, and I was streaming Thursday night, and guys in chat told me to go to my door. And of course, if you're streaming and someone tells you to go to your door, you don't know what the hell's going on, especially when you live out in southern Kansas. So anyway, Dan had coordinated with some of our regulars here and dropped off a birthday care package, Cyberpunk care package, which included this shirt, a insulated mug, which is over there on my table from this morning, and a beautiful Cyberpunk poster, which I don't have framed yet, but that'll be up behind me next week, I think. So fantastic. I think it was awesome. I've already said my thank yous many times, but I'm going to keep saying it, so get used to it.
Yeah. I didn't know what that little box was. I had no idea. Like, it came.
It's a nice insulated travel mug, and it's nice. With the corporation.
Yeah, I saw that on the outside of the box, but when they sent, it's funny because when I got the box, it was like a flattened box, like it was like a regular box, but it was like flattened, and they had taped all the way around it. And I was like, I don't know what this is. What am I looking at? And I had to like kind of squeeze it a little bit to kind of look on the inside. And I was like, okay, I think I know what this is. This is the weirdest packaging I've ever seen, but it worked for some reason. There was a tube and that little box, and I saw the shirt, but then the shirt was actually stuck to some tape. So I was like, oh my God, what is happening here? So yeah, we kind of discussed it and got it all out, came over to your house. I actually went, I had to remember where you lived because I actually went. Yeah, I was so used to going back kind of the weird way. I actually went down the Quivira Road across from school, and I can actually go down that way again. I was super excited.
Nice. Yeah, so very, very cool. Fits good, I filmed the Optimus Prime video, which will go up on YouTube later. I filmed that wearing the shirt today too, so awesome.
Nice.
Before we get into all the topics we're talking about, we wanted to honor Chadwick Boseman. I think it kind of goes without saying that took everyone off guard last night, especially this community, the nerds and the geeks and all of us that love this type of content. So for me, I've said many times I'm not a big Marvel movie guy. And, I know that Chadwick played some iconic characters such as Jackie Robinson and, James Brown, and obviously then hit his kind of, won't say pinnacle role, but the most iconic role with Black Panther. So I don't know too much about him. I did a little research last night, and what I uncovered is that this was a incredibly compassionate and intelligent man who, Dan, was pretty much our age.
Yeah.
Way too early for a guy like this to have to leave us. He's been battling cancer for a while now, and over the past few months it progressed, and he passed away last night with his family next to him. So condolences to family, anyone impacted by that. It's heartbreaking to see such a good person leave us so early.
Yeah, it really goes to show. I mean, we've got I sit here and I'm, pounds and pounds overweight, but it's you got to take care of yourself, and you've got to go in and get your physicals. You got to go in and, especially the older you get, man. My dad passed away from complications of colon cancer. So it hits close to home. And seeing how young he was, and knowing that I'm older than he was. I'm a couple years older, and it's just scary. And
a fit guy too.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
Yeah.
And it's just very, very important. So, make sure you're going to get that stuff taken care of. If you've got a history or a family, having that kind of thing, get it checked earlier than they tell you. I was just, at this point, just a little bit scared, and, it just doesn't sound like the most comfortable thing to be done, but, it just needs to be done. And so come Monday, I'll make that appointment. But yeah, he was kind of just that movie, the Black Panther movie, was like one of the first ones that we all could sit down and watch. It's the first, because just given the differences of ages from my kids, and that was awesome. So, and we all loved it. I mean, he brought so much inspiration just to millions of people around the world with that role, and still my favorite Marvel movie to date. It will always be. We really, it's really, really tragic, terrible.
Yeah, I saw Jimmy Fallon reposted a video last night. Not sure if you saw it, from 2018 when he had Chadwick behind the curtain, kind of hidden, and had people walking up and telling him what the movie meant to them, and then he was surprising them, and it's just a really, really fantastic kind of segment. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. But so anyway, we didn't want to kick off all the gaming chatter until we acknowledged that. So all right, so let's get into some stuff here. Try and up the mood a little bit. What's going on, Chad? Thanks everyone for all the regulars. I see you all out there. Let's talk about we're going to get into Gamescom shortly, but I wanted to talk about the mess that next gen is becoming, and we're going to start with Call of Duty. So we saw Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War this week. Surprising to me anyway, it looks really, really good. So just to set the stage, if you don't know the details of this title yet, so it's a sequel to Black Ops 1, a direct sequel which takes place in 1981. It is going to be a full title. We had speculated based on the shortened development frame and whether they would do multiplayer, what they were going to do with it. So it is a full campaign. Multiplayer reveal is coming on September 9th. And then Zombies is coming, but it's coming post-launch. That's all they said. They didn't give a date. There is cross-play and cross-progression across all platforms the game's releasing on. So that's PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, PC. Fantastic. So on that front, other developers take note. That's how it should be done nowadays.
Right. Yeah. Oh, 100%. That's going to, I think, close that gap, and that's when it just needs to be done. I mean, I don't play multiplayer games, but I mean, it makes sense.
But I mean, even campaign, right? Say you.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
You start on your PS5, you're playing Xbox, and you're like, man, I'd rather just, continue my campaign on Xbox for whatever reason. You can do that, right? Mm-hmm. No season pass either. So good news here as well. That free post-launch DLC is coming, including Zombies, like I said. Now, what that's going to look like, I don't know, but that's good news.
Yeah, they're just integrating into Warzone. I read for the Battle Royale part, so there won't be a separate one. They'll just be, and Battle Passes are back.
Yes,
of course, but
that's like we talked about a couple weeks ago. That's the financial model moving forward.
It's all right.
And 60 million players, and what we say, 1.2 billion a quarter they're making right now. I think they're gonna be all right. They can upgrade to that value meal.
Get the large fries.
Yeah, they can splurge once in a while. Here's what I wanted to get into, though. So, before we do that, what do you think of what you see now, the campaign? I know you said you were really impressed by it and looking forward to it.
Yeah, it looks awesome. The problem is that's all I ever buy it for. And so now, once we get into this other stuff, it's just going to be a matter of where and when I do it. The past probably the last three campaigns anyway, I bought day one. So, it's I think I did the review for the
Modern Warfare was like 6 hours.
Yeah, it wasn't much. And
I
felt terrible. Yeah, I value my games based on like how much time I can get out of them. That's always been where my value. Now everybody else's is going to be different, but if this is the same kind of thing where it's like 6-7 hours, it's hard for me to justify paying $70 for it when I know it's going to be on sale, 3 months down the road for half that or whatever it is, and it comes at a really bad time, as far as what we're going to have to play with, Legion and Valhalla and Cyberpunk. I mean, this is going to be a lot easier for me, I think, for to say no to, and it's not because of, any of the other stuff. It's just because I just won't have time to play it.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I am. It's, November 13th, right?
Yep.
Think about that. The games that we're getting, we're getting Cyberpunk, obviously. Well, I won't say obviously. Maybe it's just for me, but biggest game of the year, right?
Yeah. Assuming it doesn't get
delayed again.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
AC Valhalla, another gigantic release. Plus, potentially, both the Series X and PlayStation 5 and all of the games, even though they may be smaller games, all of the games that they're going to launch with, all within a two-week time frame.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. Bonkers. All right, but let's talk about the mess of next gen and kind of what I was alluding to. So I'm going to read through this because I don't know if everyone has seen this, but it is interesting. So we already know about the whole Control Ultimate Edition thing, and we got into that a couple weeks ago. Here's what Call of Duty is doing. So you have your $60 standard edition on PS4 and Xbox One. Either of those can be played on the PS5 or Xbox Series X via backwards compatibility without the next gen upgrades.
Yeah, which are what they say, like ray tracing, higher frame rates,
up to
faster load times.
Yeah, faster loading, ray tracing, and something else as well. I forget, but it sounds pretty good in theory, right? Depending on implementation.
Right.
If you're going to be one of those people that wants to play it on PS5 or Xbox Series X, and gets the wants to get all the enhancements, you need to buy the next gen version of the game, which is $10 more. It's $70. So this is going to include the Xbox One and Series X copy, or the PS4 and PS5 copy, at least from a digital perspective. Now, here's the awesome clarification. Digital normal editions, the $60 one, can both upgrade to next gen for $10 later if they want to. So if you buy Xbox One, PS4, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to get PS5, Series X at launch, upgrade later if you want to. If you buy the physical copy on the PS4, you can upgrade to the PS5 later for $10 as well. The physical copy of the Xbox One version, however, cannot upgrade to the Series X. They're actually selling a different physical copy of the Series X, of the Xbox version for Series X, which is so far the only game to do so. Every other Xbox game we've seen so far has been Xbox One, Series X, one physical copy. This is the first one we've seen to do this. Now, if you buy the PS5 physical copy, right, the white logo PS5 one, that will not work on the PS4. It only works on the PS5. I'm
out. I can't.
Yet the physical copy of the Series X will work on the Xbox One, because I'm telling you, it's the same exact damn disc. They're just going to give you a code to get the Series X upgrade. But again, they're the only company so far to do this. So Fastback, see, we've already got questions. Let me get to the proper screen here. Mads, I see you, brother. Give me 1 second. Series X version comes with Xbox One, right? No, it doesn't. So if you buy the Xbox One version, so again, digital or physical, right? If you buy digital Xbox One, you can upgrade the Series X version for $10. If you buy physical Xbox One, it'll work on the Series X, but you cannot get the next-gen upgrades. There's no path to do so. You have to buy the copy from them. That's the Series X physical copy.
This is ridiculous.
I
can't even focus right now. My head hurts so bad.
I started writing up the notes, and I went to 3 different sites, including directly to Treyarch, and wrote all this down. And I'm like, this is a mess.
This is a mess. I mean, what? Okay, so I'm getting confused. I thought I had it in hand. This is.
So while you're thinking about that, let me shout out to Mads real quick.
Yeah.
Mads, good to see you, brother. Keep up the good work, guys. You donate to us. That's all you got to say. As a compliment. That's way too kind, Mads. Way too kind. But no, really appreciate it, man. I was talking to Mads the other day because he's starting to stream as well, but he's in Poland, right? So like for me, I'll be middle of my workday and he's streaming and it's nighttime. So I just got him up in the background chatting with Mads the other day. So thanks for stopping by, dude.
Yeah. I mean, so this is what it's telling me right now. Just buy digital, whatever you do. Don't worry about physical copies anymore.
The one time I'll agree with you.
Yeah, I mean this will make everything super simple. Buy the series or the Xbox digital edition if that's what you're on, or the PlayStation PS4 digital edition. If you want to upgrade later, $10. That's the best way to do it. Everything else, I don't even know what to say, Activision. I mean, bravo for outdoing Remedy on this one because
without a doubt. Although I don't know, Remedy still got you buying a specific edition. That's what, $40?
Yeah,
to upgrade.
Yeah, I'm part of me. I just don't know what is going on. Like, is this, like we kind of talked about earlier, is this like a thing where it's, a marketing thing where they're just not allowing you to buy it? Is it a Xbox thing or a PlayStation thing? I don't know. Like where these are the blockers that I think Remedy and 505 were talking about, and they're still not very specific.
No.
So it's hard to tell what they're having an issue with, and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Nuts.
It's
yeah,
an absolute mess.
I'm just gonna wait.
Can you imagine? Like, I know we all talk digital, and we usually we know what's going on. But if we can't figure this out, imagine the mom just picking up Call of Duty for her son or whatever, kids at Christmas, which is going to happen for millions of copies, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to know what in the hell is going on. Mm-hmm. And one thing I didn't mention too, another reason for digital is that the beta and the pre-order bonuses where you get the extra operator and legendary weapon for Modern Warfare and Warzone is digital only. You don't get any bonuses for physical. So to your point, Dan, I think what they're really doing is they're kind of skirting physical to push people to digital because the profit margin is higher, and that way you can also get the extra $10. So they're going to get their money is the end of the game here.
Yeah. I mean, that's all really it's about anyway. I mean, I'm just going to wait anyway. So it's just simpler that way for me.
Yeah,
it makes your head spin. I mean, I thought like the NBA 2K thing was a little bit complicated. When Control actually originally released, it was a little bit complicated. And plus, you're not even, like you said, we're not even talking about like the bonuses and stuff and the marketing.
All the other stuff that goes,
all that other stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like, oh my god,
it's a mess. So, Carl, what's up, Katie? Carl says, "Believe in generations. It's simpler." #Turkin. So,
you agree?
I'm actually going to challenge it because lost in all of this is the fact that you can buy this game on PC for $59.99 and run it from 480 resolution to higher than PS5 and Series X for one price.
Yeah, eventually that has to stop, though.
You think they're going to change PC?
Not PC. I mean, you always got minimum specs, right, on your PC. There's always going to be games that are going to start coming out. When like Crysis and Far Cry came out, you had to upgrade regardless.
Yes,
I said that there's going to be that tipping point at some point. I just don't know when that's going to be. Right now, you're fine, and but at a year from now, maybe not. So who knows? Yeah.
But it's just hilarious that there's still only one copy on PC, and it's based on what hardware you own, which we are in consoles, right? If you own the Xbox One versus the Xbox One X versus the Series X, it should just run to that spec.
ideally, but then they wouldn't make money. So
they'd make less money. Sorry,
yeah.
$6 billion's not enough for one
it's
game.
not enough.
Yeah, I forgot.
That's
They're struggling.
right.
Hashtag Turkin.
Yep.
Carl got his wish this week, man.
Yeah, he did. He had to be super excited.
Yep. Thanks, Carl, man. Appreciate it. And then Bizzle also says, and this has been the same question for a while, right? Why are digital games still the same price as physical without the extra cost for materials, packaging, shipping, printing? Because they want to make more money.
Yeah. That's easy.
And that's why pre-order bonuses are becoming digital only. They're just pushing more and more people to digital, which, sucks for old guys like me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, baby.
Hopefully we do get to a point where digital is, you get a discount on digital, but we'll see. All right. God, what a mess. Anyway, Call of Duty Black Ops. I'm not buying it at launch. There's no way I'm paying $60 or $70 to play a Call of Duty campaign that'll be 6 to 8 hours long. Probably. We don't know. Probably 6 to 8 hours long in the same week that Cyberpunk and AC Valhalla come out. You're out of your damn mind.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's not happening.
Not going to happen.
So
too much going on, but I mean, it'll still probably outsell, I would say, all of those games.
Yeah, probably,
possibly combined.
It was, yeah, we'll see. I'm actually curious to see where Cyberpunk lands, because, when Red Dead released, Red Dead challenged Call of Duty for sales initially.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be to that caliber.
It has to be one of those mega bombs, which Cyberpunk I think is. We'll see.
Yeah.
So, Chris, good to see you, man. Fastback, ready for next gen season gaming. So, hope this is enough for all enhancements now or later and past all times plus season. I started reading that like it was a normal sentence, and then I just kind of went off the rails. Oh man, battle passes for nicknames. Oh, we that's something we talked about too. Is we're going to have microtransactions on the Bitcast going forward, where you can buy upgrades for our nicknames, and we'll name ourselves. Whatever you want.
That'll be it.
That's the future of the Bitcast, man. We got to make some money around here.
Yeah. What's up?
Thanks, Fastback. Appreciate it, man. All right, let's talk about Gamescom because,
oh man,
Gamescom opening night.
Real quick,
go ahead.
Listen, Luke, I love you, buddy. You've been watching this forever, and I'm just the guy on the right. What in the hell is going on? I know I never
the guy on the right.
I'm like, come on, man. Listen, we're going to talk about Lego in just a little bit. Hold your horses. Stay calm. But my name's Dan. But you can call me the guy on the right. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. That's fine.
That's actually quite funny.
It's actually a little bit funny. And the guy on the right. God dang,
right. You can't change your name this week. We're not allowing that.
Next week, that's the guy on the right.
Guy on the right.
Yeah, or on the bottom.
No.
Well, I won't be there next week, so it won't matter.
All right. All right, moving on. What's up, guys? Good to see you, Eric. All right, Gamescom Opening Night Live. So this was a 2-hour show. Over 35 games were supposedly going to be shown. Keeley did try to set some level of expectations ahead of time, saying, hey, this is mostly games you've seen before. There will be a few premieres. They're not anything major, right? So first off, what were your thoughts? I know we talked about this offline, but it felt like the overall reception of the show was pretty poor.
Yeah.
I was... we've been critical on some of the shows. I'm usually the more positive one saying, hey, I didn't mind it, This one, I was pretty bored most of the time.
Yeah, there really wasn't a whole lot that caught my eye. Maybe the very end with Ratchet and Clank, but even then, and these guys need to learn, just stop streaming these things like this and expect people to be super excited. When you go back and watch that 4K 60 trailer, it looks way better.
Yeah,
way better. That's the thing. It's hard. People say, hey, and I was probably one of them. You don't need E3. You kind of do, and this is really showing it.
Perspective has changed big time.
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
But for the most part, 12 minutes look really cool.
Yes.
I guess the Fall Guys stuff looked pretty cool. And I'll tell you what, I think I texted you, and shout out to Luke in chat. The Lego Star Wars game was probably my favorite trailer in the whole show.
Oh,
It was, aside from maybe Ratchet.
The game's going to be epic.
It looks insane.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it doesn't get too cheesy with the humor, I'm okay with it.
The Lego games usually are.
Yeah, they just don't go too far. Like, I think they did just the right amount in that trailer where I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. But a lot of times they take it a little bit over the top. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, ever since we first saw it last year, at the behind the scenes demo, I think there's a video on our channel where we talk about Bert and I. But yeah, no, we were very impressed. And like I've said, if you're used to all the Lego games that have come out previously, it's not like that. It's actually a new engine, and it's open world, so you can kind of wander around the planets. Like if you want to just hop in your ship and go to a different planet and do something from another movie when you want to, you can do that. It's actually really cool. It's got free world shooting and aiming. I mean, it's neat. What about Little Nightmares 2, man? That was my favorite trailer.
Yeah, of course it was. I'm a giant puss. So, that's like a game that's like right on the edge for me. Like I played the first one. It looks cool, but it's just weird.
Well, that's why it looks amazing.
Looks like it has co-op, possibly. So
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm ready for it, man.
Yeah, I like that they brought back, and I actually forget her name.
The raincoat girl.
Yeah. I actually have the little special edition with her little figure. I should have that out. I don't have it out anywhere. But no, that looks really good. What else did we see there? So we got 12 minutes, which you mentioned, looks fantastic.
Yeah,
I love indie games. I love to begin with, but that provide a unique experience that you don't get out of AAA games. That game looks fantastic. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I was excited about the Medal of Honor until they said it was VR and also Oculus only. I was like, man, this looks really good. I can't wait to play this. I'm like, yeah, I should have known better.
Which we weren't going to touch on this week anyway, but you saw that Oculus is now later this year going to require a Facebook account to even use it.
I will never ever own an Oculus.
and that's been the response by a lot of people.
That's insane. Yep. That is insane. I don't have a Facebook account, so screw that shit.
Steve says in chat, William Dafoe. Yeah, going back to 12 minutes, we kind of skipped over it, but William Dafoe, Daisy Ridley, and I'm forgetting. Damn it.
Who's the last one?
Yeah, there's a third. Anyway, famous cast that's voicing 12 minutes. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Matt says you need some
SD curtains. We need to get that on the site.
You know what? So there's a ton of stuff not live in the store that we can actually sell. It would not. You can get a Season Gaming shower curtain.
Oh, can you really?
I swear. Yeah, I can get one created. Yeah,
dude. Like if it's not like super, transparent, I could, because I got sunlight coming in here. It would just screw up the whole lighting. Yeah. No. Yeah, let's get some of that going.
I'll take a look at it.
Look at it. Let me see what you got. It's black. It needs to be black.
Yeah, you can get masks now. But I can create anything. Skateboard decks, framed portraits, like high-end art prints, all kinds of stuff.
Dildos?
What?
Yep.
What do you think about this Dragon Age trailer we got? I was hoping, I saw BioWare, everyone kind of, got excited for Anthem 2.0. We got a shout out.
No, I thought it was going to be Mass Effect Trilogy Remastered. Or remake or whatever. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Dragon Age.
Yeah.
And Anthem 2.0 is coming out in 2023. So I'm not even worrying about that right now. But yeah, this new Dragon Age looks, hopefully will be awesome. It's just, I'm on that fence where it's just like, do I still trust BioWare at this point after what they've done? Yeah. And it's either going to be, it's not even going to be like a mediocre game. I don't think it's either going to be complete shit or it's going to be awesome. So we'll see what they can do.
They've got to prove that they can still create a AAA RPG.
Yeah. Because
Dragon Age Inquisition was 2014, and that was probably their last. What have they released since then?
With Andromeda
and
Anthem.
And Anthem.
Yep.
So Dragon Age Inquisition I loved. That was definitely my game of the year in 2014.
It was really good.
But man, they've got to They've got to prove that they've got still have what it takes to make top tier games.
They can do it, I think.
They definitely can. They've just I don't know if the leadership. It's not development talent at BioWare.
No.
With what happened with Andromeda and what happened with how did I forget the name of Anthem? Anthem. Yeah. That's a leadership failure, bar none. So we'll see what happens.
And Anthem is really outside of their wheelhouse from what they're used to doing. So, hopefully they get back to it, get back to, the roots and, really make a good Dragon Age game because we need one.
Yeah. The voice acting looked cool that they showed. That doesn't show much of the game, but it looked cool.
Yeah.
Bad Bit, what's up, brother? Ratchet and Clank. So they ended with Ratchet and Clank, which was the longest demo of the show. I've said before on Sony's show that was, jumped right up near the top for me. I love Ratchet and Clank. I think it looks fantastic. It's one of the few games that I've seen that when I look at it, say, okay, that looks like a next-gen game based on physics and interactions and animations and a bunch of things. So super pumped for that. I was a little disappointed. The more I watched it, I was like, we've already seen this.
Yeah.
I think I was typing to Carl at the time. I was like, wait a minute, we've already seen this gameplay. And it was just an extended version of what they showed previously.
Right. Here's the thing. I mean, like you said, it's probably the closest thing to what we've seen for the next gen consoles, so far, as far as gameplay goes. Anyway, and we really need to see more of that, and we're running out of time. So I don't know what the hell's taking them so long, but I will give Insomniac huge props because
talented studio, man.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
You're putting out a new Ratchet and Clank. You're putting out a new, even if it's a smaller.
Don't call it an expansion. We'll get yelled at.
It's a Spider-Man game. I never called it an expansion.
We already got 2 downvotes.
Yeah. Oh, 2? Yes.
Multiplying, baby.
Man, this is a hell of a Saturday. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, they've got these 2 games coming out. We can't get half of these devs to just give us one half-ass game, let alone like a full, fleshed out, fully formed next-gen game. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got to have like the Miles Morales gameplay already, ready to go. They have to.
The game's got to be going gold by next month.
Yeah. It's insane to me.
Yeah.
So they're doing great. So shout out to them for being.
They're like PlayStation's Obsidian. It's like those 2 studios have shined. They were fantastic acquisitions for both Xbox and PlayStation.
100%.
Super talented studios, and they did confirm that they own all rights to Sunset Overdrive. So I know you, like me,
can't stand that game.
Cannot wait for Sunset Overdrive 2.
Cannot stand that game.
Spider-Man was only as good as it was because of Sunset Overdrive, so pay your respects.
And it improved it so much. Man. All
right. But yeah, let's touch on that real quick because that goes back to the whole next gen is a mess thing. So it's August 29th as we record, right? Mm-hmm. We're going into September, and we've been saying this for like 2 months now at least, is that we have no launch lineup, we have no launch date, we have no price. Now, forget about narratives for a second. Let's just look at what actually happened. Xbox has been a lot more transparent from a hardware perspective. So they gave their Series X hardware to Digital Foundry. They gave it to, what's his name? I don't follow that guy, but whatever those couple influencers were, right? They allowed a full teardown of it so that, there's no secrets at all of what's in that box, what you're getting. They did the Hot Chips presentation last week, which was, I'm a pretty technical guy, and I was like, holy crap. Like,
no, I watched like 2 minutes and I was like, well, that's it. I mean.
Carl and I talked about it quite a bit, but there's so my point being is that Xbox has been incredibly transparent with the hardware. But now that Halo's been delayed, you can kind of get the sense, and I don't know, but it feels like they had a lot of eggs in their Halo basket, if you will.
Yeah, they did.
Because we don't know what we're getting from a launch game perspective other than Series X upgrades for Cyberpunk and Valhalla and all that. Whereas now on the PlayStation side, We've seen more Rift Apart, which they confirmed is a launch window game. That doesn't mean it's going to be there at launch, but it could be December, could be, my guess is February, March is, springtime. Demon Souls is somewhere in there. We know we're getting Spider-Man supposedly at launch, right?
Right.
And they've shown, which is honestly one of my rants, but they continued to press on the controller, which don't get me started early. But at least they're pushing something different, I guess. But they've been incredibly not shy is the word I'm looking for, but guarded about the actual PS5 box. Nobody has seen this thing in real life. Nobody. They haven't shown it off the production line. Not a single outlet's gotten their hands on it. They haven't even given us the full tech specs of the console. They only gave us what Cerny wanted us to know. Right. So it's really kind of baffling and let me be clear, I'm not happy with either approach. I think they're both lackluster. I think it's kind of shitty to your consumers. I won't say the words you love so much, Dan, and anti-consumer, but it's kind of shitty to the fan base that neither Xbox nor PlayStation at September before launch, there's still so much we don't know.
Yeah. It's listen, I just want to pre-order the shit. I mean, I get an email this week that says, "Hey, you can sign up to pre-order the pre-order." I'm like, I don't even know what the hell that means. That's fine. I've heard you see rumblings here and there that maybe September 9th, it might be a day where PlayStation pre-orders. How is that even possible when there is zero, like you said, information about what it actually is?
Now that I have an answer for.
Yeah.
Sony.
Yeah, that's insane to me. Now, on the other side of the coin, I don't need somebody to tear down a box to show me what's in it. I need them to show me what the hell that box does. You know what? You can sit there and tell me, "Oh, look at it, it's the best thing ever." That's fine, but what the hell does it do? You haven't shown me shit. Running on an X. You haven't shown me anything. That one whole PlayStation thing was all running off of the PS5. At least we know what that is. It still didn't look great. But at least we've got something. If all of these boxes are out and these influencers have them, at least those two, Phil's over there playing it on his, at home right now.
I saw more videos this week of that, prototypes and size comparisons and all that stuff.
I don't give a shit about that. I don't give a shit how big the damn thing is. Just give me what is on there. I mean, show me what's, I understand there's been a lot of people on Twitter this week that have been really upset, and calling him out and saying, hey, everything you've shown is like on a PC. Now, granted, that it's probably going to be pretty similar, and that's fine. But, hey, show us what it actually does. Is it going to be slightly better? Is it going to be slightly worse? Is it going to be, I don't know, because PCs, they're all over the place.
Yep.
There's no consistent.
Well, we've heard for many years, gameplay on this system will be representative of this, and then it doesn't end up being. So you've got, you need to show, to your point, you need to show exactly what it can do. And we haven't seen that from the Series X. Right.
And, to your point about the DualSense, it's super gimmicky, and I hate like having to move my controller to do something in a game. I don't mind like the touchpad and the speaker and stuff like that. That stuff is cool. And I think, without actually trying it out, like having that haptic feedback might be cool. It might be really, really distracting. It's hard to say. I think that's just going to come down to personal preference. But if that's all you're going to show me is, the controller, and not, I mean, obviously, what the hell was Jeff playing when he was blowing into his controller, like, he was obviously playing on a PS5. I mean, I'm assuming so, unless it's a PC. I guess it could be the PC. I don't know, man. It's just the lack of information.
Well, that goes back to the marketing on the controller. Is that from PlayStation now? We haven't seen the console in real life. Like I said, no teardown, no nothing. We don't even know the full detail of it yet. We've seen an ad for the controller. We've seen Keeley promote the controller. We've seen the end of Gamescom was promoting the controller. It's just like, I don't give a shit about your controller. Show me the damn system and what it can do.
That's exactly. We need that from both.
That's what I mean. I'm kind of harping on both of them right now.
Yeah, they need to show something. To say. I mean, I don't know why we're waiting so long just to reveal the price. It's insane to me. I mean,
To Eric's point, the reason I have the quote up is this is the weirdest generation I've experienced.
it is.
Yeah.
And he is exactly right. This is not unlike anything I've ever seen before. It's they're waiting so long. And I don't know if it's really, they know the prices. They have to. I don't think they're out there waiting to undercut the other person, because if you really want to do that, just tell them your price. The next guy comes out, tell them, there's your other price. Okay, we're going to drop ours by $100. Why can't they just do that? If Phil comes out and says the Series X is $500. We've got this Lockhart that we haven't shown you yet, but exists. Even though we're only like a month or two away from actual release, if it's actually going to come out.
That's a whole nother thing,
right? Yeah. So that's $300. So there's our prices, $500 to $300. Then Sony comes out and says, okay, well our disc version is $500, and then our discless version is $400 or $450 or something. And then Xbox says, cool, we're just going to drop our prices $50. Why can't, I mean, that's not something that you can't do. You can just say, okay, we're just going to drop our prices $50. Just hold off on the pre-orders for a week, announce the prices, see what the other guy does, and then just change it if you want to.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's I don't know how it works in retail, but I'm assuming it's just like, hey, Best Buy, we're selling this for $50 less. All right, cool. It's so overcomplicated. It drives me crazy.
So we've got a bunch of comments. So Bizzle, I was already going to pull this up, man. Thanks. Have a good weekend. Have fun camping. That sounds a lot more fun than being stuck inside. So enjoy. And while I'm at it, thank you very, very much for the $10 super chat, man. Support for Dan and that guy on the left. Love it. Love it.
Beautiful.
Keep up the great work. And yes, rest in peace, Chadwick. Absolutely.
Yep.
So appreciate that. We get another one. Hold on. Bear with me. Steve. What's up, Steve? Said, what if there's 600 and they don't want to hear the complaints? So instead, they're going to wait till the last minute, create want, which Sony did this week by sending that email out, right? Saying these are going to be limited, be first to get your hands on it. It's marketing 101, which apparently Xbox is still in class on. What if there's 600?
All right. Like, it doesn't matter to me how much they cost. That's, I think it will for a lot of people, especially given the current situation. A lot of people don't have jobs. A lot of people are, struggling to, just make ends meet. So this is going to be a huge deal. And they need to understand that when they announce these prices finally. I just, I don't think Sony cares, because I think people will still buy them regardless. I think, if Xbox, they don't even care if you buy the one system, in which I'm like 50-50 on. But, if you drop the price and try to undercut Sony, then you're trying to probably sell some systems. But,
you're also, if they've created the Series S too, right?
Right.
You don't spend billions developing two consoles if you don't want to sell them.
Right. Exactly. Right. It's just show us what it is and let me buy it. Because now my worry is with this whole pre-order thing is that there's not going to be enough, units. But they said there was like 10 million units being produced, and they can produce one every 30 seconds. So it doesn't make any sense to me.
They supposedly doubled the output of PS5s. Remember, they went from like 3 to 6 million or something like that.
Right.
By the end of 2020.
Right. I mean, that should be enough not to have to worry about people on eBay asking for, double the price of what it is, even though I might buy two and try to make some money. Not gonna lie. But, whatever.
Yeah, the guy on the right.
Yeah, the guy on the right. Well, you can only buy one anyway from Sony directly. You have to go somewhere else. But I don't care where I buy it. I don't care how much it costs. I just want it. I want the new systems. I just, But, I was thinking this week, right now, where we're talking about this whole thing, if I'm take myself out of it and I'm, not going to buy both, I'm probably going to buy a PlayStation before I buy, just because me, liking Spider-Man, there's really no reason at this point, aside from the niceties, my niceties aren't going to make me upgrade. I'm going to upgrade because that's what I do. But, I can see it from some people's point of view because, if you want to play FIFA, if you want to play Call of Duty, assuming your friends are on one side or the other. Call of Duty is actually cross-platform, so it doesn't matter. But
it's still the
right
environment, community, whatever ecosystem.
Yeah,
I say a lot.
And for Game Pass, you like I think Gator said this last week. You can't, if Netflix put out just a bunch of soap operas, nobody's going to sign up for Netflix, right? You've got to have those games in there that are going to make that service that they're going for, valuable and make people want to get it.
Yep.
And right now, I mean, you're getting a bunch of indie games, and some of them are pretty cool. Wasteland 3, well, not, I don't know if it's technically an indie game.
I wouldn't call that an indie game.
Yeah, it's a great game. Yeah, AA game. Fantastic. I thought I would hate it. But and that's one of those benefits to it, but it's just
it's not a system seller is what you're saying.
Yeah, there aren't any. I don't even know if Spider-Man maybe
Halo was the system seller.
Yeah.
For Xbox. I mean, Spider-Man, the thing to know about Spider-Man is again, and Eric, I'll get to you in a second, brother, but the thing about Spider-Man is that we know, and this group knows, right, that it's not the same as the original Spider-Man. It's one of those, we keep saying it, Lost Legacy style games, right? The 5 million other people that are going to buy it on their PS5 or whatever the number is, right? They just know it's the new Spider-Man game that can only be played on PS5.
Yep.
And Spider-Man is a very strong IP, and it'll sell, and PS5s will sell because of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very smart move by Sony.
Yeah.
Eric says, you guys, and funny enough, Eric, Dan and I were talking exactly about this before we went live. Do you guys think in some way it's even more odd or has us in a strange new territory of excitement because we had iterative consoles? And I think so, because we were talking about a friend of the show, Killer Kel, who just posted on Twitter this morning that he never upgraded to the One X. And so he's ridiculously pumped for the Series X because for him, it's a massive upgrade, right? Even if he's playing third-party games.
Yep. I mean, that's huge. I mean, when I saw that tweet, I was like, man, Kel, I mean, I wish I could be you right now, because then, once I get that Series X, you're going to see that jump, that you haven't seen already. You're not even gonna know what to do. Now, going from the X to the Series X, it's going to be less, I think, of a jump. I mean, like you said, the niceties, the load times, the playing 5 different games at one time or whatever, that's going to be nice.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to see that, especially early on, getting that next gen, the 4K, the 60 FPS. You're not going to get that quite yet.
Yeah.
Eventually, hopefully. God, I hope so.
I love hardware, so I'm,
right.
I've said a million times, I'm buying both day one regardless because I can't wait for the hardware.
Yeah, I'm just a tech nerd.
And the things will be nice as well, the extra things. We have our award for best back-to-back comment goes to 9 Lives and Fastback. 9 Lives asking, what's with Keeley giving Cyberpunk best PlayStation game? I don't know. I think when that happened, I was like, you just had Last of Us 2. I guess it was future games because it's game.
Yeah, it was the game. The awards were based on the games that were at the show, I'm assuming, or would have been at the show. It's just like an E3, like best of E3. It's like a best of Gamescom. So apparently there weren't any.
There's no PlayStation
Spider-Man there.
Show.
So yeah, I guess Cyberpunk got it because.
But they just showed Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah. Hey, so I guess Cyberpunk was better.
Oh. Anyway, Chris figured it out for us.
Yeah.
Kojima loves Cyberpunk.
This is true.
Keeley got a text during the show.
Yeah. It was basic. Listen, for everybody that's mad at Keeley, listen, I don't like that dude either. But I don't. It's not because of his biasness, I guess.
No, I'm with you. The bias.
It's because he's a weirdo.
I just don't like him.
He's a weird dude.
Yeah.
He's super weird. Like his Kojima love is unhealthy. I think it's really strange. We've talked about this in the past, but don't be mad at the guy because he likes PlayStation better than he likes Xbox, or that he's supposed to be completely unbiased because he's he does the Game Awards. Those are his awards. He did the whole damn thing. He can do whatever the hell he wants. I don't. I mean, that's his stuff, man. I don't really care. I mean, Kojima or see, I get them mixed up.
Yeah,
because they're like one and the same. like a symbiote, like a parasite leashed onto him. But I mean, Keeley, he's done a lot, regardless of what you feel like. He's done a lot for, I think, gaming, especially coming into this, new way of thinking about stuff. Obviously, he's loved PlayStation forever. He's always been that way.
Yes.
And just he's got to do. Yeah, just deal with it.
Yeah.
He doesn't hate Xbox. He just prefers, there's a difference between preference and bias,
Fair.
Everybody prefers one thing, bias is a whole other thing.
A couple other comments and we'll move on because this is becoming like a chat show at this
The rant show.
Fall Guys becoming a minor system seller for PS4. Yeah. I don't think you're off on that, Walt. I don't think you are. That game is a phenomenon right now.
Yep.
It's blowing.
If that game came out a year ago, I mean, it would be huge. I mean, so much different as far as like systems and stuff. So
now, if from what they've said, there's no. They launched on PSN Plus, of course, and PC, but there's no exclusivity contract.
No.
So it's really all down to Mediatonic just developing the Xbox One version. And if I'm them right now, I'm taking a lot of this money and I'm racing
100%
to get that thing out on other consoles because it is you got to capitalize while it's hot.
Can you imagine this on the Switch?
Yeah. On the Switch, yeah, no doubt.
It would knock some of these Mario games right off the damn top of them.
Nintendo Online wouldn't be able to handle it, first of all.
Yeah, that might be true. Yeah, it's pretty basic.
And here's a great question again from Fastback, man. So, and I think you just said this, Dan. So they're showing Ratchet and Clank, right? That is launch window, which could be months after launch. Miles Morales supposedly launching in 2 months, and they haven't shown it. We haven't seen gameplay from this game.
I said that earlier. I mean, I want to see some, man. I need to see some of that stuff. Steve, we're right above that. How did Death Stranding go up for Game of the Year? That was my Game of the Year last year.
Oh, I know. That's why you're guy on the right.
That's why I'm guy on the right. I've literally been playing it a second time.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's such a divisive game.
I know it is. We talked about that. Man. And I haven't played, so I'm just being sarcastic.
Yeah, it's. I understand where people are coming from, though. It's either you love it or hate it. Yeah. Poor.
And again, like I've said many, many times, we've talked about this so many times, but I didn't play it because I've watched enough of it to know it's not my type of game. It doesn't mean it's a bad game.
No.
It just means it's not the game. There's tons of great games that I don't play, or other people don't play. All right, let's move on.
We're going crazy.
All right. Fun, though. So we're back to Perfect Dark.
Oh God.
So we've talked many times about what Initiative is working on. Perfect Dark rumors, everything I've heard it's related to Perfect Dark. Earlier this week, in case you missed it, Kind of Funny Games was doing their daily Twitch chat with Andrea and I forget the gentleman's name. The two of them were chatting, and Jeff Grubb, who pretty well known in the industry, was in the chat, and they were talking about Initiative in the studio and the talent because they've scooped up even more ridiculous. That studio, I don't know what's going on. They've got to be on paper one of the most talented studios in the industry now. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. They look like the Kansas City Chiefs on paper.
But do they have that Mahomes?
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Yep. But anyway, Andrea had raised, I don't know if Microsoft invests hundreds of millions or whatever it is, to just use it for Perfect Dark. And Jeff Grubb very clearly said it's Perfect Dark. And so that just kind of confirms again what we've been hearing all over the place. Now, what someone else brought up is that we've talked about this before too, right? Is people are like, why would you reuse that old IP and everything? I think you can kind of get the best of both worlds if they do this properly, right? It's so far removed from Perfect Dark when that game was popular. And if you do it right and it's big budget, AAA, third person action adventure, basically what we'll call the PlayStation first party template, because that's they've stamping those games out.
Right.
Use that template, but create something that's very, very highly polished, well developed, has some new ideas. Create Joanna Dark as a new icon. We've talked about all this before. It's essentially a new IP. There's no one's remembering Perfect Dark like that.
Nobody. Like 5 people played the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, let's just get real. I mean, it wasn't like, Perfect Dark Zero was one of the worst games ever released.
Okay.
It was terrible.
Okay.
It was
all right.
bad.
Calm down.
So bad.
It is.
That was a launch 360 game, wasn't it? It was so bad.
I was playing multiplayer on launch night with my buddies, and if you might not remember because you weren't into it, or maybe you were, I don't know, but there was a quote, and I don't have it here, but there was a quote that Perfect Dark Zero will be the Halo for the Xbox 360 launch.
Lies.
And so we all jumped on multiplayer and started playing, and after a couple hours, you start to get that feeling like, this ain't it, Chief.
Come on now. Who believed that kind of stuff? That was terrible. What a terrible lie.
I mean, was it Ken Lobb? It was one of the Xbox execs.
No, the initiative, they've got the players, they've got everything. Now they just have to execute.
Yes.
I'm kind of on that, I wish I could have seen a new IP, but you're right. Essentially, this is a new IP since nobody really remembers Perfect Dark. If they do it the right way and, give us something that's, with some kind of incredible graphics. I'm talking like God of War style kind of, game or
expectations are going to be at something.
It has to be
level. Yeah. That level.
Don't. Yeah. I mean, this is it, man. I don't want to,
keep your expectations tempered.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the point now where I just shot my expectations. I mean, it's not even worth having anything because everything gets shot down. So whenever you're going to announce it, which I don't think they will anytime soon.
No.
You're not even going to see it before the new consoles release, I don't think.
Oh, no.
So you're talking a couple years down the road, and even then you maybe, you start getting a CGI trailer or something. It's just, I need something from you, Xbox Studios. You keep putting out like these games that are, good, but are super niche. You're going to put out Flight Simulator, which is an amazing game. Like the quality is there. You can see it. You just got to hit that stride where you want a game that everybody's going to play. Like, Cognito always says, there's just that one game.
You need that one game. Yeah. And that everyone's going to talk about.
Right. And then once you get that, things will follow. You'll see the success of that game. You'll see, everybody will kind of be like, this is what we need to do.
That's a great thing, because if you look at Flight Sim, you look at Wasteland 3 now, right. And even, I know we're not going to talk much about it. I'm going to play it. I don't think you are. Tell Me Why. Right. Those are the last 3 games published by XGS, and their scores are super high.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
Battletoads, right? And
last 4 then, and Battletoads.
Right.
But no one expected Battletoads to be a 90 Metacritic game.
But you're looking at games, like, I don't know what it is. It's just like, they're not bad games. They're just very niche games. They're for a very specific market.
They're not broad market games.
Yeah, no. I'm playing Wasteland 3 game that when I played Wasteland 2, I thought it sucked ass. So I was like, well, I'll give this a try. Because I'm into XCOM games. I'm into those RPGs, CRPG. Yeah. You know what? It's a great game so far. It's so good right now. And I wasn't expecting it. So there's that nice little, every once in a while. And Flight Sim, again, was good, but I'm done with it after, 2 hours, and then I just don't see myself ever picking it back up because it's just not something that's going to grab a whole lot of people. Yeah. But it's still, that's not taking away from what it is. It's still a great game.
Yeah, it's like we've talked about this, right?
Yeah.
Perfect Dark has, if you do it right, it has that opportunity to fill the gap that Splinter Cell that Ubisoft's not filling, right?
Right.
They make it this third-person AAA action-adventure stealth game, and they do it right. It's the exact game you're talking about, Dan. It's a game that everyone will be talking about to play. And we saw it, fastbacks too, like Tomb Raider. They did the same with Tomb Raider. Like, look at the reboot we saw with Tomb Raider, and that's still less removed from a day-to-day basis in people's minds than Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark is not in anyone's minds.
Nobody knows what it is.
I mean, this group, the seasoned gamers loved the N64 Perfect Dark. We played it, enjoyed it, all that stuff. But you're going back 25 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see, man. if this is truly what they're doing, then they need to really do it and really have something, special on their hands. I just, at this point, I know they can make good games, and those studios have shown that they can do it.
Yeah.
But they just haven't hit that. This is supposed to be a quadruple A game, so we will see. Isn't this it? Isn't what Booty said or something?
That's what Initiative was said, quadruple A studio. But
quadruple A studio.
And again, not trying to be an apologist here. I'm really not. But I know it feels like forever since Xbox bought all these studios and has all this development talent, right? It's been 2 years. 2 years in AAA game development is freaking nothing. And that's not even accounting for the fact that when you buy a studio and transplant it and hire new people, there's a whole wealth of just corporate stuff that has to go on, right? So, Diego, I will boot you out of here. So, I mean, for instance, Ghost of Tsushima, one of our favorite games of the year. It's been talked about, celebrated, great reviews, right? Sucker Punch spent 6 years making that game, right? These things, I know we're tired of hearing it takes time, but we've seen Hellblade 2. We've seen Avowed. We've seen Fable. We've seen they're coming. I know it feels like forever, but if you want a good game, you got to wait for it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, counter to that, it's, been 7-8 years since the damn console's released.
I'm not arguing with it. Yeah,
that's the issue.
Everyone agrees that the Xbox One, from a first-party perspective, was drier than it should have been.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest issue people have. Aside from your big three, which were great games, and like I said, there are games out there. You know what they can do.
Yeah.
But then you got Crackdown 3. So it could go either way, which wasn't terrible. Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't perfect dark bad, but it was bad.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about In Exile too is, with Wasteland 3 is, remember that game was supposed to release like 8 months ago or whatever it was, several months ago. They got the funding and more talent to turn it into what we got this week, which looks to have paid off, right? Why do I still have this comment up on the screen? Sorry.
It's all right.
I don't even know where it is to take it down.
Scroll all the way back up.
There it is.
Yeah, there it is. Hilarious.
So, but In Exile, we know as well, is working on a big budget, well beyond Wasteland 3 RPG built on Unreal 5, right? So, again, it's, it sucks to keep hearing patience, but sadly, it feels like that's what we have to have.
Right. But at what point, I wonder, do people just say, yeah, fuck this?
Yeah, I'm tired of waiting.
Yeah, there's going to be a point where people are starting. I think you start seeing it through comments on Twitter, where it's just like, listen, guys, you guys, I mean, it's not. I'm not going to say. I'm going to stop talking right now because what I wanted to say and what I should say are two different things. Just understand, you only take so much of a certain thing before you got to just kind of quit.
Yeah. So. All right. So one thing we didn't talk about next week, we'll move on from this, is because it was happening as we were recording, was the DC Fandome games, right? So Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. And I figured we'd just touch on those. So we'll start with Suicide Squad because there's not a whole lot to talk about. We did not get, at least for me, speaking of waiting forever, we did not get from Suicide Squad what I expected. We got a 4-minute CGI trailer. We got no gameplay, no huge info on the game. We have a few details. And then we got a 2022 release date, tentative release date. If you're Rocksteady and your last game was 5 years ago, here we go. We're talking time frames, right? Mm-hmm. Your last game was 5 years ago. For a couple years now, we've been talking about what they've been working on, and they've kept saying, just be patient. Same thing we're hearing right now, right? Be patient, wait, we'll happy to show you soon. And then you come out and you show a 4-minute CGI trailer and say it's still over 2 years away. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it blows my mind. And then it's not even a Batman game, technically, I mean, which is what I was waiting for. Now, the Suicide Squad has got all, it's got the newness, I guess. It's the big DC IP with 15 different movies. I don't even know if they all connect with each other. I mean, and I like the CGI. I'm probably more excited for that game than I am Gotham Knights, and that's only because I know Rocksteady's pedigree. But this is taking a long, long time, and having no gameplay kind of blows my mind.
It feels like they've probably changed direction on this game a couple times, and that's why we never really saw or heard anything about it.
Right. Now Gotham Knights, I'm still going to play the hell out of that. But it's so confusing. I mean, so Suicide Squad takes place in the Arkham universe.
No, Gotham Knights does.
No, it's the other way around.
Oh.
I think Suicide Squad is in the Arkham from where Batman Arkham Knight was. And Gotham Knights is actually separated from that, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Yeah, I'm trying to look.
Yeah. I mean, it's...
Oh, yeah. So Gotham Knights is set... I got it right here, the quote. It's set in DC's Batman universe.
Right. So it's a little bit different, which doesn't make any sense.
By the way, that because people are asking, well, will you secretly get to play as Batman? They've confirmed Batman is dead in this game.
Which is weird because, I never... that not to spoil anything, but in Arkham Knight, there's Nightfall Protocol or whatever it was at the end of the game. You had to go back and make sure you had all the Riddler trophies and everything else was 100% complete, and you did whatever it was. But they actually mention it on that game, yet it's not connected to that game, which is super, super weird. So I don't know. I mean, the gameplay looks awesome on that game. It looks like it looks just like Arkham Knight. So
I thought it looked pretty good, and I don't really play a lot of those games, but I thought it looked cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looked really good. I mean, I'm gonna definitely get it, try it out, see how it is. As far as Suicide Squad goes.
So and that's so Gotham Knights is coming next year. It's 4 players, open world, can be played in 2-player co-op. By 4 players, I mean 4 characters: Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Batgirl. It's going to be current and next gen. And you can play in 2-player co-op. Contains story in the DC Batman universe. Yes.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. And WB Montreal is a talented studio, so it should be a pretty. You think it's be a solid game. By the way, we missed Diego going off.
Oh, did we?
On our last thing about Xbox, One and exclusives, and he was basically saying, what if it wasn't that it was too dry, but games like Sunset didn't really hit, or Quantum Break didn't hit, or Rise didn't hit. They
all didn't hit.
It's not that they weren't releasing games; it's that they didn't have the impact that I think the titles have.
No, he's right. Yeah, 100%.
So now for me, Sunset, one of my favorite games of the gen. Yeah, I'll take Sunset over. I'm about to say something that's going to get us more downvotes, but
over Spider-Man.
I'll take Sunset over Spider-Man.
I know what you're going to say. Yeah. Once you told me, you said, how can you not like Sunset Overdrive when Spider-Man is essentially the same game?
It plays very similar.
Right. So what in the hell is the difference if you reverse that?
Because in Sunset, it has a hilarious sense of humor. If you actually play through the game, you'd know this.
Well, yeah.
It also has crazy customizable weaponry, which is just amazing to play with.
It had an Ainsley
and it has Ainsley achievement.
Yeah, achievement. Yeah, that's what it is. Let's just get real here, man. I mean, this is bias. Now, this isn't just this is it.
Like, you can get a freaking gun that launches teddy bears that just make huge explosions all over the city. You can't do that in Spider-Man. You're just swinging around.
Right. It's more grounded in reality.
Crush on some girl. He doesn't even know what he's doing half the time.
Right. It's a story. God damn it, Ains.
We're off track again.
Oh, shit.
Wait, what? Where were we? All right. Gotham Knights.
Oh,
man. Where was I? In all seriousness, give us Sunset Overdrive 2. I don't care if it's PlayStation exclusive compared to X. I don't care. Just give me the game so I can play it somewhere, please.
Get it.
All right. Halo Infinite. We'll touch on this real quick because this will lead into what's grinding gears. Halo Infinite. So 2 things on Halo Infinite. One, Joseph Staten, who has come back to work with 343. Very kind of famous. He's worked on a bunch of big games. He's famous in the Halo community. He helps write the games, but he's going to oversee kind of finishing development of Infinite. Now, right away, this was taken as a, oh shit, Infinite's in trouble type thing. And, potentially there's probably some challenges there. I think that goes without saying. But stop with the doomsday stuff, okay? Because it's very easy to remember, or it should be at least, that a game like BioShock Infinite was in the same place until Rod Ferguson came in, got it out the door, helped finish it. And BioShock Infinite is an incredible, incredible title. This happens with some big games, okay? So putting someone like Joseph to help get the game finished is not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. 100%, man.
The other
I don't know anybody in like gaming. I know who that is.
I don't know anybody.
I mean, like seriously. I mean, I don't know any of these guys' names. I know Rod Ferguson, I guess, and like the bigger guys. But a lot of times you see these things like, "Hey, this guy blah, 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 from Insomniac Games joined the initiative." I'm like, "Who the fuck is that?" Like, I've never heard of that guy before in my life. I know Joseph Staten, so
Holy crap!
Yeah,
what has happened here?
Staten is back.
What's so big?
You're in control.
God. That was awesome. That was big news, apparently. There we go.
That was big news.
The other thing is, we've heard, ever since it was delayed, we've heard the narrative, and you and I were talking about this, of cancel the Xbox One version. Cancel it. I want the Series X version to be the best it can be, so cancel the Xbox One version. And I'm going to slow down. I'm getting into my rant.
Yeah. Now we can ease right into that, because that is a huge, I never thought I would see, because most of the guys I follow, or I'm sorry, that follow me or that I interact with are Xbox guys. There's just no, and that's going to be part of my rant later, but it just is what it is. But I would say 80% to 90% of these guys were like, hey, you know what? I'm okay with just going next gen. And just making this,
but those are hardcore guys,
right? Hardcore guys, right? And this is what we're talking about on Twitter, and then, from a business perspective, obviously it doesn't make any sense for Microsoft.
From a development perspective, it doesn't make any sense,
right? Exactly. Yeah, I mean, especially since it was being developed.
Not at this point,
right? Yeah, I mean, to scrap all the work you've done at this point, because this is where it's supposed to be. This is what it's being developed for, is current gen consoles. It's a lot. I don't even know if it's possible. I mean, I'm sure you could, but it's probably a lot easier to go forwards rather than backwards. You take this thing and then you've got to dirty it up to put it on something else, instead of you build it here and then polish it as you go. You know what I mean?
It's funny you say that, because traditionally that's what I've thought too. But we just saw something out of a developer. Is it Quantum Error? I think is a game being made for PS5. Yeah, I'm going off of memory here, so if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I know the developer came out either today or yesterday, recently, and said, we're developing for PS5 first and foremost, and then we'll downscale it to the PS4.
See, I always thought that would be way harder. But I'm not a developer. Yeah,
I mean, I'm just telling you what he said. Yeah. But anyway, before we get into the actual rant, which this will be part of mine, Unishek, who is John at 343, one of the guys I've talked about before because I've played Halo with him. Real good guy. He's the community manager. He's been with 343 for a number of years now. He came
also a guy I don't know who the hell that is.
He's big in the Halo community. If you don't, you won't know who he is because of that. He came out this week and just said, a lot of rumors, leaks, speculation out there right now. Just rest assured, we're still working on Halo Infinite for 2021, and we're still working on it for all devices as originally planned. Just stop with this nonsense, right? Sure. So I'm just happy that he came out and said that, because it was running rampant for a while, and it's like, we'll get into the grinding gears. We're gonna move right into it, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's crazy to me that anybody would even think that would be a good idea from a marketing, developing, whatever standpoint.
There's no standpoint it's a good idea. None.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, aside from if you would have to scrap so much work.
Yep.
At this point,
and market and everything else for the cost of benefit, right? The cost to do so is nowhere near what you're going to get out of the benefit. The only benefit you get is a handful of resources that are trying to optimize it for old hardware that you can now use elsewhere. But for a game with the budget of Halo, the game's already designed. It's already coded. With that type of budget, that's a minor drop in the bucket of saying we're going to release our biggest IP next year. And no, it doesn't work on the 55 million consoles we already said it would work on.
That is crazy.
No company's going to do that.
Nobody. That's the dumbest thing. Like, are they really thinking xCloud is going to, it's like, well, you can play it on the X and also your phone.
You can play it on the Series X or your iPhone.
Your Android. And only on your Android. Yeah, nobody's going to go for that garbage. And our buddy Luke put out a poll, and this is what I was talking about earlier, and it said it's 951 votes. Should Halo Infinite move strictly to next gen or remain on the Xbox One
Luke who?
family? Luke. Incepted Ghost.
Oh, Luke Lore. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And 78.5%
next gen only, right?
Crazy to me.
People don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, though.
I've half gotten into my rant. We're just going to
go for it. Get it, man.
We're just going.
Get it out.
Moving into grinding our gears, guys.
Do it.
All right. So staying on this topic. The game is already designed and coded, like we just said, right? All they're doing now is optimization. And dropping the Xbox One version at this point, all you're going to do, like I just said, is take a few of those resources that are working on that optimization and say, okay, you can work elsewhere. There's nothing preventing the Series X version from being the showcase we all want it to be. Nothing. The Xbox One has nothing to do with that. Zero. Maybe that's not the thing to make, but zero, however you make zero. So get this out of your head. Okay. And the problem is that when these narratives run rampant on social media, whether it be Twitter or elsewhere, more than 78%, but 90+% of the people who act like they know what they're talking about on this stuff don't know what they're talking about on this stuff.
That'd me. But I don't.
But you don't make it. Yeah, but you're not one of those people preaching from the rooftops as if you do.
I know nothing.
And that's the problem, is that so many people act like they know what they're talking about. We got YouTube videos, and I told you they should have dropped the Xbox One, and articles, and it runs rampant, and all of it is nonsense. It's people who don't know development, they don't know corporations, they don't know team structure or how projects are managed or how long they take. Just stop. God, I'm frustrated. It's probably because it's Halo. I usually don't get very frustrated like this, but Halo's got me riled up. It's just very frustrating to see. So, yeah, I mean, technically, could they drop the Xbox One? Of course they could. They can do whatever they want to do, right? But from a financial standpoint, it's very, very unlikely that they do that. And yes, the Xbox One version will probably not run very well, But I also want to remind people that Halo 5 was developed for the original Xbox One, and it ran at upscale 1080p 60 frames at launch in 2015. And it ran well. It was a pretty game that ran well. Nowhere near like it does on the One X, and obviously what the Series X will do, but it's fine. The other point that always makes me laugh about this, drop the Xbox One version so the Series X can be better. These are the same people who are praising like crazy games like Cyberpunk for being incredible looking, and their game of the generation. That game's designed for the Xbox One.
Damn.
It's designed for the Xbox One. CD Projekt Red has said that directly. Direct quote. This game is designed for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. There's nothing stopping Cyberpunk from being amazing on your top-end PCs or Series X or PS5, just like there's nothing stopping Halo Infinite from being amazing on the Series X because there's an Xbox One version. Stop it.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only thing that I could think of. I mean, it's going to be whatever the art style is going to make the biggest difference. It always does. You can take a game that runs at, somebody told me like the Falconer that's coming out, right?
That game looks incredible.
Right. It looks awesome. It's like 4K 60. And I think it's only on the X. Maybe I'm wrong. It could be on the new or the current consoles, but I thought it was supposed to be only.
It is the Series X launch title. I don't know if it's right. Xbox One as well.
Yeah, I don't know. But you've got, and you can do that with those kind of games. With something like Halo. For me, it's more like, okay, let's make this look really, really good as we can on the current gen consoles. Make sure the art style is really, really good. Make sure that this stuff looks amazing. And then we just upgrade it for the next one. I mean, they're doing it with Gears, with Sea of Thieves. All these games can be done.
Forza Horizon.
Yeah, Forza Horizon. I mean, all these games can just be added to later on. And apparently you can go backwards too if you wanted to.
Almost like their PC counterparts.
Right. So,
it's conversation.
It's now we want to get into that. But yeah, man, I'm with you. I mean, I understand. The only thing I would say, there's always, like I said earlier, you're going to hit that point, I think, maybe a year, maybe 2 years down the road where
100%.
It's just not going to make any sense to continue to do it. I think they're going to hit it sooner than later.
Me too.
But at the same time, like you said, this is made for the Xbox. This is made for current gen consoles.
This game's been in development for years already.
Years.
Yeah, I mean, and you have to understand, people are like, well, then if it's not Xbox One, what is called? It's time.
Yeah.
Development time. It's a studio that's working on a brand new engine that they developed from scratch. Working on the first Halo game that's open world, which they've never done before. And they're trying to work across a hardware generation, with new hardware as well. So that's not an easy thing to do. They just need time. Give them the time they need. The game will be a showcase.
Yeah. Do whatever you want.
Yeah. and Diego says, this is what kind of stirred this up even more. Ryan McCaffrey said last gen is holding next gen back. And he was sorry for drinking the Kool-Aid. And this comment, again, you have to be careful on the context here, right? Because as we've talked about before, there's a big difference in graphics and design. And, most of design's not even going to be held back, but you look at very specific things. And it really depends on what you're talking about. Yeah. But in this specific example, canceling the Xbox One version right now in, August of 2020 is not going to do anything to help the Series X version of Halo Infinite.
Yeah, here's the thing about this too. When he came out and said, "Hey, for at least the first 2 years, you're going to be able to play these first-party games on your Xbox or whatever for 1 to 2 years."
Well, and we've seen them kind of walk that back.
Well, even what is releasing in the next 2 years? Probably not much. And third-party can, if they want to, develop specifically for next gen if they want to. They don't have to make.
No, media makes next gen only.
Right. Yeah. They don't have to do it. Ubisoft going forward does not have to develop for the PS4 and for the current gen consoles. They don't have to. Now they would be leaving a ton of money on the, behind. But if they don't want to, they don't have to. They're not, in that, when Phil came out and said that, they're not in that, that same graphic. And I don't think really much is going to release between now and when, I think a lot of these games, and we've seen them too, right? We've seen them on the shows. Most of them are Xbox Series X games.
That's what I'm saying. They've walked it back, right? Like we know that Fable is Series X only. Avowed is Series X. Forza, even Forza is Series X only.
Right. So it's easy to say something like that, and it's good PR speak. It's like, hey, we're not gonna, but nothing's gonna be released in those 2 years. Basically, is what they're telling me at this point.
Halo's the big one.
Halo's the one, right? Yeah. And that's it. And then short of that, but that's it. That's your monster, and that you've got to. I mean, you can't put that many people behind the ball. And as far as what Ryan said, I think, it could. I think it could actually hold that stuff back if that's what you want to do. But that's an option you have. If you want to continue to develop for these consoles that are out, these 120 million PlayStation 4 consoles that are out in the wild right now, and you're not going to get the highest fidelity. You're not going to get, maybe right off the bat, you're not going to be able to push the graphic, the art style as far as you possibly could if you're still developing for a 7-8-year-old console, that barely runs, sounds like it's about to take off. It just makes sense because you're going to have, you've got those minimum PC specs. It works the same way. Eventually, you're going to have to, take that leap and just say the hell with it. Yeah. And at that point, consoles will probably be cheaper. The entry point will be lower.
I think, and we're getting into a different topic, but we've talked before, and I know you've asked around what place does the Series S fit when we already have the One X.
Right.
I think that's where that slot is, right? That's why even though the One X can do 4K, its architecture, its CPU, all these things are still incredibly dated. Whereas Series S is going to benefit from the new architecture, the new RDNA structure, the new drive, etc. So that minimum spec, even though Xbox One X is a 4K system, the minimum spec moves up, right, and keeps your generation kind of moving forward.
Gotcha.
So, and Elu says Anthem should be Series X only.
Of course.
What do you got? Let's hear it.
The only thing, I don't have a whole lot. I kind of ranted throughout the show.
Page of topics today.
Well, so yeah, we talked. It's a lot easier just to rant when you're, when it's just the two of us. We just went out. We just say whatever we want. Yeah. Kind of. I know Gator kind of talked about this, but I've run into it recently. The fact that I can't put in whatever damn name for my character in Wasteland 3 drives me nuts. The fact that I can't be Queefy McBoobflops is really, really pissing me off. So I have to put an extra E in there, and then it works. Like it's something different. Like it's so much different because I added an extra E somewhere. That's ridiculous, man. It drives me up the damn wall. So yeah, I'm pissed off about that this week because it actually happened to me. And then I tweeted something out it was, what would I say? It was something about when people
to In Exile.
No, not what? In Exile. But no.
No. You tweeted to In Exile, but the name thing.
Oh, I did tweet. Yeah, I did for sure. I did. I tagged him in it. I'm not. It's ridiculous, man. It's so dumb. McDude flop. That was awesome. I still have it. I also have floppy boobs, but it's spelled with an extra O or something. So it's. I didn't. After that, I was just like, I'm not even naming him. It's going to be too frustrating for me. So, but I think I tweeted out earlier this week was I own all systems. And I've talked about this before.
Oh,
so
yes.
This was all because of what Geoff did. It drives me up the wall watching these guys. Like if the problem is if the situation was reversed, it would be just as bad, right? If he was like, sure, Game Pass is the best thing ever. Yeah, that's fine. And then the PlayStation.
Yeah, by the way, here's some Ratchet and Clank gameplay.
Yeah, put that on there. Yeah, right. Yeah, if that were to happen. Yeah, people would be upset on the other side, but don't come at me and tell me, well, he's biased and this, and I own all systems. I don't give a fuck what you own, ever. All right, I own all systems. You know what? I love all my systems. They're like children, so you love them all equally. Yeah, you have a preference on one or the other, obviously, because
Talk about consoles, not children, right?
No, well, both. Because listen, I got one that I would like to smack around, all the time, but I can't because it's illegal, but he's 18, or 19 now. So maybe I can, I don't know. Anyway, you have your preferences and there's a big, big difference between preference and biasness. All right. And it's okay that Jeff Keeley likes the PS4 more than he likes the Xbox
or PlayStation as a brand. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. It's fine. It's no problem. He's, because he's not as excited about, a game that's coming on Xbox as he is, say Ratchet and Clank, he hyped it up. Who gives a crap? You know what? Just relax. Relax and get excited. If you really, really, truly, use that excuse that I own all consoles and that I love all consoles the same way, all right, you wouldn't get so upset. You're the one that's obviously biased. All right. Obviously. I mean, it's so obvious, but you just can't, Dan don't love the kids. What the hell kind of shit is that? Yeah. I mean, just come on, guys.
Well, and it goes back to what I ranted about last week too, which is stop letting other people control the way you feel.
Yeah. It's dumb.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's dumb. I just, I came back on Twitter for a little while. Every day it's like a struggle.
Don't let it get to you.
Just to get, because it's not even it's why I don't follow a lot of people back. And I apologize if you follow me and I don't. It's because I'm afraid the more I do, the more chances I have to run into shit. And that's nothing against people individually. It just is what it is. I mean, people like to argue about stuff and I don't know why. It's super frustrating. So yeah. I just try to, I try to take a step back. I follow the people that I know that I've been following either for a very, really long time or, So no offense. I just want less. Yeah, bring that damn statue up here.
Sorry, I've seen several comments
so
on it, so I'll try to bring it up. Don't worry, the video is going to be published later today.
That thing.
No, but I'm with you.
Fantastic.
The only thing I will say is Diego said this, and I think this has some validity to it, but it still doesn't mean it should impact you personally.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like I get people being frustrated to say, I don't know what I would even use as an example, but I guess people have a false expectation that people like Keeley or Ryan McCaffrey or others who are well-known industry people, Jason Schreier, your favorite, all these type of people, that when they say something, they should say it from a point of neutralism. But that's just not the way the world works.
No. Does anybody ever watch Fox News or CNN?
God.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
Fox News should never be mentioned on this platform ever again.
You guys, you will never, ever just get straight facts from people. I mean, everybody's going to have their preferences. It's all going to come out. To think that somebody, or a reviewer for even that matter, should be some kind of console neutral. It's impossible. It is impossible. I'm not even toot my own horn. I'm probably the closest thing you're going to find to it, because I really don't give a shit about any of this stuff aside from playing some new games. But
you said it well earlier.
Yeah, I still have a preference, right? I still play. I play maybe 60-40, but I've got so many more games. I mean, Diego kind of tweeted this. You're kind of invested, from a money standpoint, in certain systems. I've got 800 or 700-800 games on my Xbox digitally. I've got 300 or 400 on my PlayStation 2. Some of them are the same games because I've got problems. But it's just, if you're worried about what Keeley thinks, or that he's going to somehow influence these people to buy more PlayStation 5s because he likes Ratchet and Clank anymore, then you've got a problem, not him. You're worried about him. Don't worry about that dude. He's going to do it. Watch something else. That's what you do. If you just want news, find a great news site like seasongaming.com.
Yeah.
Come out and, it's Phasma.
Comment for you, Dan.
That's what I'm talking about. Listen, he's important, but I also don't like him.
Well, Diego pointed this out, right? Phil is always championing the industry. Yeah, well, that's why Phil's beloved and Keeley isn't.
Yeah. Well, some people like Keeley. I don't necessarily. But like I said, I don't like him.
No, I'm sure some people like him, right? But I mean, if you think of industry executives and the respect they have.
You know who I miss? Sean Layden. I love that dude.
Sean Layden, another class guy, right?
Love that dude.
Yeah.
I miss him.
So, and always, this Matt points out, we always need to remember 100%. This. The shit that goes on Twitter and YouTube and all this other stuff that people think is so important, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to the market at large.
Nope. I mean, I think maybe a few more people know Jeff Keeley just because the Game Awards were on TBS once, but that's about it. But yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, we know his Kojima love. We know his Sony love. That's okay. Everybody's got their own thing.
Scary, though. We've talked about that.
What?
His Kojima love is kind of... Oh, you mean Coach? I thought you were talking about Keeley. So you say Kojima, I think Keeley.
Yeah, same thing.
But I mean, his love for Kojima is creepy.
No, if you're worried about somebody else's preferences, and you think that's biased, you've got the problem, basically.
If you're letting it impact you, yes.
Yeah. Just don't let it impact you.
Yep.
It's not that big of a deal. And to that point where he should be unbiased, that's never going to happen.
Well, Diego just wants to say this.
Yes.
That was the point of it all, right?
Right.
Carl, what are you doing, man? You already super chatted us once. And by the way, he says he loves you. So, and by the way, Carl, it's guy on the right.
Guy on the right.
Did you figure this out? Okay. I don't know who the hell Dan is.
I need a shirt.
Guy on the right.
Yeah.
We'll have Diego make a logo. SG, guy on the right, guy on the left.
Yep.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. That's kind of funny. All right. What are you playing, man? You playing Wasteland? Yo, Tunic.
Yeah, I did. I played some Tunic, man.
Unbelievable.
Out on Steam, the demo. Anyway,
Demo. You did not know. Tunic, the game everyone's been waiting for, the little indie game, is out. Playable demo on Steam.
yes, it is very confusing right now because I don't know, like everything that you interact with. I don't know if it's like the Tunic language where you have to like unveil kind of like No Man's Sky style, where you have to like talk to other people to like get get like what these words mean, or if it's like an actual language, because I'm not versed in many other languages except for Spanish and English, so it's not. I have no clue what like everything says. So like you click on like a sign and like some kind of weird gibberish pops up. I'm just like, is that what it's supposed to say, or is that just like a placeholder?
Yeah.
Short of that, it actually plays really, really well. I mean, it's pretty intuitive. You can, I basically had a stick and a shield, ran around and smacked.
How long is it?
I haven't played through the whole thing yet, but I played probably, I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Okay.
I'm ready for it, man. I think it's got something. It's very, very Zelda-like.
Kind of weird that they didn't get it in game preview then too, if early access is on Steam. On Xbox, I mean, since it was, it's part of the Idea at Xbox program.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't come on, especially when they had that big indie demo thing going on.
He was at E3 in the Xbox showcase.
Right.
Like I told you, I played that game 2 years ago.
Right.
It's kind of weird that you wouldn't get the demo out on Xbox too, but it doesn't matter. At least it's playable.
Right. I've been playing that
at this point.
And then also...
before you do that, Dan, one question for you on Tunic.
Yes. Yes, it is Souls-like. God damn it. No, it's not. No, it's Zelda-like. It's super Zelda-like. Like even the shield is like, I mean, not like Breath of the Wild Zelda. I'm talking old school Nintendo.
Yeah,
Zelda.
like Link to the Past.
Yeah, it's badass. So
that's acceptable.
Yep. What else am I playing? Started Death Stranding again. That was a huge mistake.
It's a long game, isn't it?
It's a long game. I'm like even skipping everything. See, everybody thinks there's so much walking, but really, once you get to a certain point, I have just used my motorcycle pretty much the entire time.
Okay.
There's areas where I have to, but yeah, it's a lot of running back and forth.
Days Gone Stranding. Days Gone Stranding.
And then I played Wasteland 3. We've talked about that quite a bit, and it's pretty damn fun. It's I will liken it to The Witcher 2 to The Witcher 3. Yeah. Like where The Witcher 2 sucked. And boom.
Yeah.
Witcher 3. Amazing game.
No, it's really good so far. I'm very, very early, but I was amazed at the level of depth and character creation. And I don't mean about customizing look. I mean like skills and perks, and it's really, really cool what you can do so far in that game. So definitely liking it. Yeah.
That's it, man. That's all I've been playing, dude.
Okay.
I'll probably play other stuff, but I don't remember.
Tell me why.
Yeah.
So
I should have ranted about that game. Everybody's gonna think I'm a terrible person, but I cannot play games that smack you over your face with like I don't know, with like political commentary at all. I just don't like social issues in my games. I just want to play games. It's just that's one of those games I'm never gonna play. Like I tried. That was a problem with Oxenfree though too. It was more like the teenage angsty.
Oh really? I've never heard you talk about that before.
No, game sucks.
So Wasteland 3, I'm looking forward to getting more time in. I actually did not have much time to game at all this week. Just very, very busy at work and site. And I've been streaming. So I've been streaming Dark Souls. I did beat Dark Souls the other night on Thursday. I left Nameless King and Soul of Cinder, who's the final boss in the game, for that. And I beat Nameless King on, I think it was 6th or 7th try. And I beat Soul of Cinder, the last boss, on my first try. So crushed it. We beat the game. It was a lot of fun. Everyone kind of joined in. It was actually my first Twitch affiliate stream since becoming affiliate, and a bunch of people stopped by, and it was just a blast. So I actually already bought the expansions. So the expansions are ready to go. I'm going to be playing those next, and I've never played those before, so that'll be really fun. We did play some Battlefront 2. Got back into that for a couple hours earlier this week with some of the crew, Phasma, Mariano, and Hassan, and Elu and stuff. And That was really cool. Have you played that game lately?
Which one?
Battlefront 2?
Actually, shit. I installed it last week. I was only playing single player, but I've got it installed.
You never played the campaign?
No, I have. Here's what I've been doing basically this summer is going back and playing campaigns that I've played already, waiting for new stuff to come out. And like the next thing that comes out for me is probably going to be Kingdoms of Amalur, which I've already played, but it's a new version of it, so it's kind of weird. But yeah,
so we've got that this week. We've got Tony Hawk this week. I am pumped about Tony Hawk, dude.
Damn.
There's something else too. Outer Worlds DLC.
Oh yeah, is that this week?
That's September 6th, I think.
Damn it!
So it's the following Tuesday.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then there's something else. I'm telling you, there's there's a bunch of stuff coming out. Gaming Forte, what's up, man? Good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a little while. Thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Great viewpoints, gentlemen. Just want to show love. Appreciate that, man. Good to see you.
Oh yeah, I'll play some Battlefront with you guys.
Jump in, man. We had a blast. I'm terrible. In fact,
you guys listen. You can't even use that word when you're playing with me.
No. In all seriousness, you know me. I'm a hardcore multiplayer guy. Play tons of shooters. Very competitive. I suck at this game. I just can't. The problem is there's still a lot of people that play it, but a good chunk of the people who still play it have played nothing but it for 3 years. Yeah. So I'm a level like 18, right? We played a guy the other day, multiple guys who were level 800, 900, or max, which is 1,000 level in the game. So it's like they know every character. They have unlocked everything. They know every angle, and I'm just getting crushed. But it's still fun.
Basically running around and dying. That's basically what Battlefront. It's always been that way for me. It's like, did I get any points?
But I did use Darth Vader one time, and Luke ran at me, and I killed him. And I was like, it's the movie we should have had right there. Crushed him. It was good. Luke. It was fun, though. But no, that's been a lot of fun. So, yeah. So we've got a lot going on, though. We've got this big-ass Optimus statue right here, which is amazing. This is the Prime 1 exclusive Generation 1 Optimus Prime Master Line. It's like the longest title ever. I just put it together this morning and filmed a video of it. So I'm going to be editing that later. You'll see that up on YouTube, hopefully tonight, assuming I have time. We've got, Dan, you've got your Vader Immortal review up on the site.
It's so short that I forgot to talk about it while we talked about what we were playing. That's how how short that game was. I forgot about it. Yeah, it's up there. It's actually pretty good.
It's pretty good, just short, right? It's pretty fun.
Super short. Maybe wait till it goes down on sale for $20.
And you have to have the move
controller. You have to have the move controllers.
Yeah.
And if you want to, that's what I should have done. Is like stream me playing that. It would have been super embarrassing. Super embarrassing. But the views. Yeah, you ever watch a 300-pound man swinging a move controller thinking he's a Jedi?
That would have been quite funny, actually.
It would have been. So. Actually, yeah. I mean, eventually I had to turn the sit-down version on because I got winded. So
there's a sit-down version for it?
We have a sit-down accessibility option.
That's actually pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure it is. Because I used it for half the game because I was
not talking about for you. I'm talking about people who are supposed to need it.
I had sweat coming down. That's how bad it was. Like if I had a Beat Saber, there's a good chance I have a heart attack. So this one was a little bit less demanding. So it was still fun.
Purple Suicide, what is up? I'm only putting your comment up. Hello. Because I don't remember ever seeing you in chat before. So I always encourage people. We often get a lot of lurkers, who either enjoy the show or watch it later who don't feel free to chat because, there's a lot of people who chat every week and we're very close with. Please, you can tell. We very much welcome everyone to just chat along with us. What else we got going on? So we got that Vader Immortal Dark Souls 3 stream. Check me out on Twitch if you haven't. I would appreciate that. I just hit affiliate this week. Thanks to everyone. You know who you are who helped me get that so quickly. That was amazing. And then Steve also, who was in chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here. He's got a new article that's done too. Funny enough, Dan, on the concept of games and developers being anti-consumer. Perfect. So that is that is written in, kind of ready to go. It's not published yet. It will be published in the next day or two. And another article and review, I think, come in this week from Steve and Cloud as well. So a lot of new stuff going on at the site, lot happening. And right at the tail end of the show, look who it is, Mr. $5 Pampa himself.
He came in.
It came in hot and heavy.
I was thinking of you guys yesterday because I had a meatball sandwich. It was delicious.
I told him I'm going to have to go this weekend and get a $5 sub.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to be honest, which is sad. I don't know if they have them still. They keep coming back and forth.
Yeah, I don't know. I usually go to Jersey Mike's down the road rather than Subway, but
it's probably the safer choice. I've actually, within the last month or so, I've been into 3 or 4 different Subways here in town, and it's hit or miss. Mostly miss. I'm gonna say 90% miss.
For what aspect?
Like everything, like cleanliness to food.
Because they're just letting the 16-year-old run it, right?
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah, yesterday I think there was one guy in there. I ordered a foot-long meatball, and it was a disaster. It took him 10 minutes because he didn't have any meatballs, so he had to make fresh meatballs, and that's horrifying just seeing how those are made. So, not that the cold cuts are that much better quality, but damn.
Nope. Yeah, it's not. It's for people who think Subway's the healthy choice. Not really.
No. It's not.
One question Bomber asked of us here before we head out is Mafia Definitive Edition.
Yeah, man. That's another one I got to play. I've never played the original Mafia.
Me neither. And the gameplay for this one, it looks like a very, very good remake, right? I mean, it looks solid.
It cannot possibly be worse than 2. So
that was one of those cheap, quick remasters, right?
I feel violated for buying that thing.
Yeah. So anyway, man. All right, we're going to get out of here, guys, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've said it before. I like these 2-person shows because it does allow us to interact more regularly with chat and put a lot of chat up. You know what I just noticed? My camera didn't twitch out, did it?
Nope. It was obviously Firefox.
You suck. So
Firefox.
I did a bunch of troubleshooting this week, guys, on the camera with StreamYard. I talked to their support. They told me to try using a new browser just to see, and I'm using Microsoft Edge of all things. Worked fine. So, all right. At least we figured it out. Guys, have a good week. Thanks, as always, for tuning in. Check out all the new stuff coming this week. Check out Optimus here later today. And we will see you next week with Archimedes is going to join us next week. And
you guys, I will be taking the week off. I will not be here.
Completely forgot. So it's going on vacation. So next week, you'll have me, you'll have Archimedes, and likely a third as well. So, and then after that, the week, September 12th?
Yes.
Week of September 12th, we've got a big show coming because it'll be Dan and I and Jez. Jez is going to join us the week of September 12th. So I've been talking to him offline for a long time. We've been trying to sync up on a show and finally got it synced up. So that should be a really good one. And my hope is that by September 12th, we have some more big Xbox news to be able to talk about with him. So
for God's sakes, I would hope so.
Me too.
I did, just see the Doritos. I just sent you that picture of the chili Doritos. Their PlayStation is giving away a PlayStation 5. I guess they're teaming up with Doritos.
Oh, they're teaming up with Doritos. Okay. Yeah. We're going to start to see Mountain Dew and Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah.
All the American junk food is going to be Xbox and PlayStation soon.
I mean, that Taco Bell console, man. God, I wish I had one of those.
I think it's sexy.
I think it's sexy.
Yeah.
And the bell when it turns on is so
I know, it's hilarious. All right, look, we keep stumbling on
I don't know what's going on. I'll see you guys.
Thanks as always.
See you later.